Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today we are talking about something that so many English learners struggle with every single day. We are talking about how to speak confident English without stress, without fear, and without freezing up in the middle of a sentence.
And if you have ever been in a situation where you knew the words in your head, but when it was time to speak, everything just disappeared, then this episode is made for you. We are going to break this down in a way that actually makes sense.
By the end of this episode, you are going to walk away with real strategies that you can start using today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. And we also have vocabulary practice, phrase practice, and a little speaking session at the end, so stay with us.
But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever watched someone speak English so naturally and thought to yourself, how do they do that? How are they so comfortable? Because I used to think that way all the time.
And the honest truth is, confident English speaking is not something you were born with. It's something you build. And that's actually great news because it means anyone can do it, including you.
Okay, so let us start with the biggest thing. The number one reason most English learners feel unconfident when they speak is not because their English is bad. It's because of what's happening inside their head.
That's such a good point. Most learners are having two conversations at the same time. One conversation is with the person in front of them. The other conversation is inside their own mind, saying things like, am I saying this correctly? Do I sound weird? What if I make a mistake?
And that second conversation is the one that destroys your confidence because your brain is so busy judging every word that comes out of your mouth that it doesn't have enough space to actually speak naturally.
So here's the first strategy, and this is the one that changed everything for me when I was learning. Stop trying to be perfect. Seriously, perfectionism is the enemy of fluency.
Think about it this way. When a native English speaker is having a conversation, they're not checking every sentence before they say it. They just speak. They make mistakes sometimes too. They say things wrong. They stumble over words, and nobody cares.
Nobody cares. That is so important to hear. The people you are speaking with, they are focused on understanding your message, not grading your grammar.
So give yourself permission to make mistakes, because mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are how your brain learns and adjusts. Every mistake you make in English is actually your brain getting smarter.
Now, here's something really interesting. There's a big difference between knowing English and using English. A lot of learners know a lot of English. They've studied vocabulary, they've watched videos, they've read grammar rules, but when it's time to speak, they freeze.
And that happens because knowing and using are two completely different skills. You have to train yourself to use the language, not just understand it. And the only way to do that is through practice, through speaking, even when it feels uncomfortable.
I want you to think about learning to ride a bicycle. When you first got on that bicycle, did you just read about balance and then immediately ride perfectly? No, you fell, you got back up, you tried again, and slowly your body learned.
English speaking is exactly the same. You learn by doing it. You learn by trying, by falling, and by getting back up. And every single time you try, you get a little better, even if you cannot see it yet.
So the second strategy is this. Start speaking more, even if you are alone. Talk to yourself in English. Describe what you are doing. Say out loud, I am making coffee. I am walking to the bus stop. I'm thinking about what to cook for dinner.
This might sound a little strange at first, but it works so well because you're training your mouth and your brain to work together in English. You're building that muscle, and the more you do it, the more natural it starts to feel.
And here's something that will surprise you. When you start talking to yourself in English regularly, you'll notice that words start coming to you faster. That moment of panic where your mind goes blank, it starts to happen less and less.
Because your brain is getting used to thinking in English, and that's the goal. You don't want to translate from your language into English every time you speak. You want to think directly in English.
We're going to take a short pause here, but when we come back, we are going to talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about enough. We are going to talk about body language and how it directly affects how confident you sound when you speak English. Don't go anywhere.
And trust us, this next part is going to surprise you because the way you hold your body actually changes the way your voice sounds. We'll explain everything right after this.
Okay, welcome back. So we were talking about how to stop that inner voice that judges every word you say. And we talked about why making mistakes is actually a good thing. Now, let us go deeper.
We mentioned body language, and I know some of you are thinking, what does body language have to do with speaking English? But this is actually backed by research. When you stand or sit with an open posture, shoulders back, head up, you feel more confident, and your voice sounds more confident too.
Think about the last time you felt nervous before speaking English. What did your body look like? Most likely your shoulders were forward, your head was down, maybe you were looking at the floor. And that body position actually makes your brain feel more anxious.
So here's a simple tip. Before you start speaking, take one slow, deep breath and sit or stand up straight. Relax your shoulders, look at the person you're talking to. This one small change can make a really big difference in how you feel.
And when you feel better, you speak better. It really is that connected. Your body and your mind are always working together.
Now, let us talk about something called filler phrases, because this is a game changer for sounding more natural and confident in English. Filler phrases are short expressions that native speakers use all the time when they are thinking.
Phrases like, well, let me think about that, or that's a great question, or you know what, I was just thinking about that. These phrases give your brain a few extra seconds to find the right words, and they make you sound natural at the same time.
Instead of panicking and going completely silent when you need a moment to think, you just use one of these phrases. It buys you time, and the person you're talking to doesn't even notice because native speakers use these all the time.
Some great ones to remember are actually, honestly, I mean, you know, let me think. That's interesting. Practice saying these naturally, and they'll start coming out of your mouth automatically when you need them.
And this connects to our third strategy for today, which is to slow down. So many learners think that speaking fast means speaking confidently, but actually the opposite is true.
When you speak too fast, your words become unclear, you lose your train of thought, and you start making more mistakes. But when you slow down just a little, everything becomes clearer. Your pronunciation improves. Your confidence goes up.
Slowing down also gives you more time to think, and that means fewer moments of panic, fewer blank moments, fewer mistakes. Slowing down is not a weakness. It's actually a sign of control.
And here's something really motivating. Most people who are listening to you speak English are genuinely impressed that you can communicate in another language. They're not sitting there waiting for you to make a mistake. They're rooting for you.
That is such an important mindset shift. The listener is on your side. They want to understand you. They want the conversation to go well just as much as you do. So stop imagining them as judges and start seeing them as teammates.
Now, I want to talk about something called comfortable topics. One of the reasons people feel more confident speaking in some situations than others is because of the topic. When you're talking about something you know well, words come easier.
So here's a strategy. Choose 2 or 3 topics that you know really well and that you enjoy talking about. Maybe it's your job, your hobby, your city, your favorite food, and practice talking about those topics in English.
Build up your vocabulary around those topics. Practice telling stories about those topics so that when a conversation comes up and those topics come up, you're ready. You have something to say and you know how to say it.
This gives you little islands of confidence in a sea of uncertainty. And slowly, as you practice more topics, those islands get bigger and bigger until the sea is not so scary anymore.
I love that image, little islands of confidence. That's exactly how it works. You don't need to be confident about everything at once. You just need to find one area where you feel strong and start from there.
And another thing that helps so much is listening. A lot of learners focus only on speaking practice, but listening is just as important. The more English you listen to, the more natural phrases get stored in your brain.
And then when you're speaking, those phrases just come out naturally. You heard them so many times that they feel automatic. That's actually one of the reasons podcasts like this one are so valuable for your learning. You're not just listening to correct English, you're listening to natural English, conversational English, the kind of English that real people use in real situations. And that's what you need if you want to sound natural and confident. Okay, so here's your action step for today, before we get to the practice section. Pick one of the strategies we talked about in this episode, just one, and commit to practicing it every day for the next 7 days.
It could be talking to yourself in English for 5 minutes a day. It could be practicing your posture before you speak. It could be learning 5 filler phrases and using them in conversation. Just pick one and be consistent.
Consistency beats intensity every single time. 5 minutes every day is so much more powerful than 2 hours once a week. Small steps forward every day add up to something massive over time, and you'll be amazed at how different you feel in just 7 days.
Coming up next, we're going to do our vocabulary practice, our phrase practice, and our speaking and shadowing session. This is the part where you actually get to practice what you learned today. Do not skip this part.
All right, we made it to the practice section. And this is honestly one of my favorite parts of every episode, because this is where the learning actually sticks. This is where you go from understanding something to actually using it.
And we took all of today's vocabulary and phrases directly from our conversation today, so everything will feel familiar. That is going to make it so much easier to remember.
Let us start with vocabulary practice. We are going to look at 4 important words from today's episode. For each word, we will tell you what it means, and then we will give you 2 example sentences.
Word number 1, confident. This word means feeling sure of yourself and your abilities. You feel calm and ready, not scared or doubtful.
Example 1. She gave a confident answer in the meeting, and everyone was impressed.
Example 2. When you practice speaking English every day, you start to feel more confident in conversations.
Word number 2, fluency. This word means the ability to speak a language naturally and smoothly without stopping too much or struggling to find words.
Example 1. His fluency in English helped him get the job he always wanted.
Example 2. You do not need perfect grammar to have fluency. You just need to communicate clearly and naturally.
Word number 3, posture. This word means the way you hold your body when you're sitting or standing. Good posture means your back is straight and your head is up.
Example 1. The teacher told the students to fix their posture before starting the presentation.
Example 2. Good posture can make you feel more confident even before you say a single word.
Word number 4, consistency. This word means doing something regularly over a long period of time without stopping. It means showing up every day, not just sometimes.
Example 1. His consistency in practicing English every morning helped him improve faster than anyone in his class.
Example 2. Consistency is more important than talent when it comes to learning a new language.
Great job. Now let's move on to phrase practice. We're going to look at 4 phrases from today's podcast. These are phrases that will help you sound more natural and confident in English.
Phrase number 1. Let me think about that. This is a filler phrase you use when you need a moment to find the right words. It's polite and natural.
Example 1. Someone asks you a question you were not expecting. You say, "That's a good question. Let me think about that for a second."
Example 2. A friend asks for your opinion on something. You say, "Let me think about that. I want to give you a proper answer."
Phrase number 2. I was just thinking about that. This phrase is great when you want to connect to what someone else is saying. It shows you're engaged in the conversation.
Example 1. Your coworker mentions a problem at work. You say, "Oh, interesting. I was just thinking about that the other day."
Example 2. A friend brings up a topic you've been curious about. You say, "You know what? I was just thinking about that this morning."
Phrase number 3. Give yourself permission. This means allowing yourself to do something without feeling guilty or afraid. In our podcast today, we said, give yourself permission to make mistakes and keep going.
Example 1. Give yourself permission to speak slowly. Being clear is more important than being fast.
Example 2. Give yourself permission to not know every word. It's okay to ask someone to explain.
Phrase number 4. Start from there. This phrase means begin with what you already have and build from that point. We used it when we talked about finding your islands of confidence.
Example 1. You already know how to talk about your job in English, so start from there and grow your vocabulary.
Example 2. If cooking is something you love, learn English words about food and start from there.
Amazing work, everyone. Now we are going to do a quick shadowing and speaking practice. Shadowing means you listen to a sentence and then you repeat it out loud, trying to match the rhythm and the sound as closely as you can.
This is one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation and your natural speaking rhythm, so please do this out loud. Do not just read it in your head, actually say it.
Shadowing practice. Listen and repeat after each sentence. Sentence 1. I am speaking English with confidence today.
Sentence 2. I give myself permission to make mistakes and keep going.
Sentence 3. Every day I practice a little, and every day I get a little better.
Sentence 4. I slow down when I speak, and that makes me sound more clear and natural.
Sentence 5. I'm not perfect, but I'm improving, and that's enough.
Now for our speaking practice. We're going to give you 2 simple questions. Take a moment and answer them out loud in English. Use the vocabulary and phrases from today if you can.
Question 1. What is one thing that makes you feel unconfident when speaking English, and what can you do to change it? Take about 30 seconds and answer out loud.
Question 2. Describe one topic you feel comfortable talking about in English. Why do you feel comfortable with that topic?
If you did that, you just practiced speaking English. That was real English speaking practice right there, and you should feel good about that.
All right, let's wrap up today's episode. We talked about why perfectionism hurts your confidence and why mistakes are actually part of learning. We talked about body language, filler phrases, slowing down, and building islands of confidence through comfortable topics.
And we ended with vocabulary, phrase practice, shadowing, and speaking. You did a lot today. Seriously, give yourself credit for showing up and putting in the effort.
Here's your final thought for today. Confidence doesn't come before speaking. It comes from speaking. Every conversation you have in English, even a small one, even an imperfect one, is building your confidence. So keep going.
If this episode helped you, please subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new episode. And we have another episode coming up very soon where we talk about how to improve your English even when you're busy and don't have much time. You're going to love it.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and remember, your English is already better than you think. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.